Well, hey everyone, it's Amy and welcome back to my channel. Can you believe it? I have already been living in Bahrain for 2.5 months now. Time flies when you're having fun, y'all. So I decided that I would sit down and I would do a kind of Bahrain life update, first impressions, how I feel about it, what's good, what's not so good, all those kinds of things. I will preface this by saying that when I first moved here, I had zero intention of making any videos about my life in Bahrain. No vlogs, no updates, no nothing. Because when I lived in Kuwait, I got so much hate on all the videos I put up about Kuwait. Even though I was saying nice things about Kuwait, even though I was having a good time in all of those vlogs, people were complaining about where I lived, people were complaining about where I went, people were angry with me for every aspect of my life just from being there. And so I was really nervous to kind of be like, and now here's my life in Bahrain. But you guys have requested vlogs and updates all the time, and I feel like I just can't put it off any longer. So I'm just hoping that the whole world doesn't hate me again, because I just can't take that kind of rejection. So I'm putting on my brave big girl face today and making my first real update video about Bahrain. So if you are ready to hear about my life here and what I really think of it, then just keep watching. Oh, but before we start, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, because your girl needs some love. So like I said, I've been living in Bahrain for about 2.5 months now, and a lot of you have already commented just on like my apartment tour videos and I guess my general videos where I'm sat here still on the floor, but I'm sat here in my room filming. I've had so many messages and comments from people saying how much happier I seem here compared to how I seemed in Kuwait, and you are not wrong. Honestly, I had some really amazing times living in Kuwait. I had some great fun. I met some amazing people. It was a good time, but it never felt like home to me. And it was also a very stressful situation. I think part of it was because I hated my apartment, and I don't want to sound like a brat about it because my apartment was paid for, and I totally appreciate that. But it did really get me down in the dumps because it was dark, it was cramped, everything was broken. Like, everything was broken, nothing worked, and there were cockroaches in the building, and the windows weren't properly insulated, so when there was a sandstorm, the water would come in, the sand would come in, it was just dirty all the time. And I think that over the course of the 10 months that I was there put me in a really negative place. And also a whole bunch of stuff that none of y'all know anything about was going down in the background. Like, I was coming on camera being all like, hey, it's me, I'm happy, but there was a whole array of things going on that you didn't know about that I still cannot talk about because there is an open lawsuit involved, which just goes to stress quite how stressful that was, the fact that it came to legal matters. So yes, when people see me now and they say, wow, you are a completely different person to when you were living in Kuwait, I am. I have a much nicer apartment here. I rent it myself. I got to choose it. I got to put all my stuff in it, and it feels like home. I think that is a huge thing when you are living in a new country and you don't necessarily know anyone and you've never really been there before. To have your own space and to feel comfortable in it is a big deal. And also, I have just met the best people here, and again, that really has a major impact on your mood and how you feel about a place. If you have lots of really solid friends around you, then like, you can take on the world. I also feel like I had a lot less of the culture shock aspect of things moving this time, partly because I'd already spent 1 year in the Middle East, so I kind of knew what to expect, but partly because Bahrain is a little more westernized than Kuwait, especially where I live, which is Jaffa. Abidra and I have this running joke where every time we have to leave Jaffa to like go to a restaurant or something, I'm like, who even leaves Jaffa? Jaffa is the best place in the world. But honestly, like, Jaffa in particular is a big hub for Western people. Like, I can pretty much see the US military base from my window. I'm not saying that's why I chose this apartment, I'm just saying it happens to be a pleasant benefit of living here. No, for real though, it's great because all those home comforts that I was missing a little bit in Kuwait are here in Jaffa. And everyone is really nice. We have made so many friends here. Every time we step outside the front door, I feel like we're making new friends, and everyone's just like very friendly and approachable and like outgoing and a little bit crazy. And I feel like that's probably because they're American, and I definitely know for a fact that, okay, so on the scale of extra, I'm usually here. But since I've been hanging out with all my American friends recently, I'm like pushing towards the top of the extra chart, and I am so much louder and just generally more confident. And I don't know that the UK can handle me when I go home at Christmas time anymore, because I'm just too much. Not to say the British people aren't fun, but British people, we do naturally have that like awkward reserve thing going on that Americans just don't even, they just are. So that's great because it means it's super easy to meet people, and my social life has never been quite this much fun. Another thing that I found about Bahrain is that it's not quite as expensive as living in Kuwait. The thing about Kuwait is the KD, which is their currency, is the strongest currency in the world. So things were expensive. Whereas here in Bahrain, it's more expensive than at home, but it's not too unbearable. I'm not like paying £10 for 2 pancakes, you know, so I can get by, it's fine. One thing I really do miss about living at home though is the shops. We go shopping here pretty frequently. We usually go to the city centre mall. We've been to Seif Mall, we've been to Jaffa Mall. I don't know that there's a mall that we haven't been to. And they do have like Miss Selfridge, Topshop, Dorothy Perkins, all the shops that I know and love from at home, but it's not quite the same. I don't know, like the shops are smaller, they don't carry as much. So that is one little bummer. I am definitely missing the shopping opportunities at home, especially because, you know, there's only so much you can bring with you in a suitcase. And I'm going out so much more than I was in Kuwait. In Kuwait, I had that tiny capsule wardrobe and it did me fine. Whereas here, I'm doing laundry every day because I'm constantly going out places. And like, you can smoke inside here. So every time I go somewhere, I like come home, I'm so smoky, need to take off my clothes, wash them, and I don't really have enough clothes to keep the cycle going. Not such a first world problem, like shut up, who are you complaining about this? The only real other thing that kind of springs to mind for me to talk about in kind of like my first impressions of Bahrain type video is obviously the weather. It is not as hot here as it was in Kuwait. Kuwait, trees have spontaneously combusted because it is so hot. And while it was definitely uncomfortable when we first got here in August, now, honestly, it's quite cool. I've been wearing my suede over the knee boots, and yeah, I've been too warm, but not like, I've not passed out from the heat, you know? But honestly, I feel like overall, I am just living my best life right now. Like, I don't know if you can tell. A lot of you obviously can because you've commented and sent me messages and been like, hey, you look so happy. And I'm so happy. I just feel very settled here now. I feel like at home. I hope you guys enjoyed this little kind of update overview of life so far. I love sitting down and chit-chatting with you guys. So I hope you love it too. If you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up to let me know. Don't forget to go ahead and click that subscribe button to become a member of our Oddball family. For those of you who are already subscribed, thank you guys so much. You are my oddballs and I love you. I would love to hear from you guys. If you guys have ever like lived in Bahrain or visited Bahrain, what do you think? What are some cool things that I should do? I mean, are any of you expats right now living somewhere else in the world? Let me know. But until next time, I hope you all have a beautiful day. I love you all so, so much, and I will see y'all soon.